Yo, what's going on, everybody? Tuesday, August 28th. My new goal is to do one of these videos every single day. So no matter where I'm at, or what kind of camera I have, or how much or how little I have to report on, new goal, every single day doing a video. So we'll see how that goes. And to start things off with this video today, we're going to begin with the last couple days of Q posts. So August 27th, yesterday, post 1933 here. To start off, Q is linking one of Sarah Carter's new articles. We'll talk about that in a second here, saying, big puzzle piece, who is systematically arranging the leaks to select individuals? Q asks. And to answer that question, let's actually go back in time to one of Q's posts from December, quite a bit back in time, December 6th, post 283 here. Q is stating, why are Sarah Carter, and John getting all the real scoops? Expand your thinking. Why are they now under protection? Well, I would say that the Q team probably validated Sarah Carter as being a trustworthy individual, so she is likely getting inside scoops from the Q team or from some sort of liaison between the Q team and Sarah Carter. I'd say she's getting some tips. So back to these current posts. Next question, why is this so important to drop prior to BO testimony? That is Bruce Orr testimony, the cohort of Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, who's testifying in front of Congress today. Let's go ahead and take a look at that Sarah Carter article for some background on this. So this article essentially is stating here that a former Department of Defense employee uncovered a long history of questionable behavior by an FBI informant. That is the whistleblower exposing the key player in the FBI Russia probe. That whistleblower is this former DOD employee, Adam Lovinger. He was essentially, as we read in this article, forced out of the Department of Defense for what he uncovered. He was driven out. And what he uncovered was this guy, Stephen Halper, who was a professor at Cambridge University, but he was also basically a mole. He turned out to be a mole, giving inside information to the FBI and the CIA about Flynn, about Trump, about all kinds of different people. So he is being outed as a literal spy in this article. So all this stuff is very important to get out right now, so Bruce Orr can't lie. And if he does lie, we know that he's lying, right? It's very important to drop before that. Big puzzle piece, Q says. Next post, 1934. Q then says, define projection, and saying, D's scream when POTUS meets with Putin. D's might mean Democrats, but I like to think of it as deep staters because, of course, this is not a left and right issue. This is a just and unjust issue. D's demand to hold hearings with the interpreter used during the private POTUS-Putin meeting. D's demand all meetings with Putin be canceled. Well, what's going on? These deep staters know that their shit is about to be uncovered. They don't want the president meeting with Putin. Like I've said for a while now, I think Trump and Putin are trolling the world. They don't want Putin to hand over their dirty little secrets to Donald Trump, but it's far too late for that. Q asks here, if POTUS knows everything, control over what organizations are central to operational success? 1, Department of Justice, FBI, NSA, U.S. military, State Department, and foreign assets. Ask yourself, if above or central to operational success, who would you pick to lead such organizations? Well, if you were a bad actor, you would pick people who are on your bad team, right? And Hillary Clinton election loss equals Clinton Foundation inflow stop. Clinton Foundation inflow stop equals No Name Institute inflow ramp. Well, what this means is that in these foundations and institutes, these nonprofits that all these bad actors install in their own names, arrogantly, normally, that allows them to vet individuals and bring people from their foundation over to governmental or other positions that they need. So like I said, they can vet these people and bring them over. Well, now that Hillary Clinton's election is lost, she can't do that anymore. That meant that they needed John McCain to step up and use his institute to bring people into the political scene, right? Well, of course, John McCain is not with us anymore. Q says here, he did not depart on his own terms. I would imagine that means that John McCain was neutralized by the white hats behind the scenes in the public domain. They used the excuse of brain cancer for the optics, but saying here he didn't depart on his own terms, he was neutralized, he was probably brought before a grand jury and euthanized, put into submission that way. Q then says, think Flynn, 30, exactly 30. So I would take this to mean that in 30 days from this post here, August 27th at 19 timestamp 04 to the minute, we might see some sort of news drop regarding Flynn, whether he will testify, whether he'll be exonerated, something to that effect. I think that's what we'll see in 30 days. Waiting to see what happens. Next post here, Q says, think for yourself, research for yourself, trust yourself. Clickbait opinions are designed to attract reader to subscribe and or follow and or shape a pre-designed narrative. Be very wary of not only the mainstream media, but many of these fakers, these lames in the alternative media. And only follow, only subscribe to people who simply show you information and let you research for yourself. Be very wary of people who are telling you what to think. I tend to enjoy listening to people who help me understand how to think, not what to think. Follow the facts. Sheep no more. Next post, 1936. Q says, witch hunt, no deals. This is something that Trump continuously says, witch hunt. But he says witch hunt in regards to the Russia investigation supposedly directed at him. But if you look into the double meanings of what Trump always says, witch hunt, who's the witch? Clinton. That's the witch hunt. It's really going on. So, yeah, I wonder what Mueller is actually doing. But what I really wonder is what Huber is doing. John Huber, right? I think the witch is definitely being hunted. Q posts this photograph right here from an Anon on the Chans, confirms it. And this is a screenshot of a tweet. Tweet says here, we've learned new information suggesting our suspicions are true. The FBI and the Department of Justice previously leak info to the press and then go around and use that exact same press story to justify a FISA warrant. Unreal. Tomorrow's Bruce Orr interview is even more critical. So Q confirming this, and then a few posts later, Q up here, Fox News article. This Fox News article was this one. FBI agent says Bureau leaks stories, then use those same stories to get FISA warrants. So this is blowing up into the mainstream as we're seeing. And then this next post here, 1938, BO to UK to Australia. Bruce Orr to England to Australia, Australia to UK to Bruce Orr. Bruce Orr to Alexander Downer, who was an ambassador from Russia, a foreign agent, all this Five Eyes stuff. So that's exactly how they were able to justify this FISA warrant. They couldn't do it domestically. They had to use foreign help. So Bruce Orr went overseas, both seas, to the UK and to Australia to get help for that FISA warrant. Q down here then says, Bruce Orr unlocks UK and foreign intel, Five Eyes. This is the case with Halper. Remember, Halper was the one who was outed in this Sarah Carta article, who is now proven to be a spy, possibly with Australian ambassador Alexander Downer, who her husband met with in London. There we go. Q saying 19 phone calls yesterday, between DC, the UK, and the Australia region, all in panic. All these people, all these bad actors are totally shitting themselves right now. What will the fake news push tomorrow? Today. Haven't seen too much quite yet, but we're waiting. Q posts right here, hooah! Which, funny enough, if you saw my video yesterday, or have been seeing this piece of evidence around, what was the word that General Flynn recently changed his Twitter header to? That exact thing right there. Love those connections. This post, 1940, very crucial. Q asks, was Nazism ever truly destroyed? Was it merely a subdivision within a larger organization, a finger attached to a hand? Very good point right there. Nazism never went away. The Nazis after World War II, many of them actually infiltrated into America here, Operation Paperclip. And this is a very good point to make. One finger attached to a hand. The Nazi group, all those German secret societies, are just one finger on the hand of deep state control. We have many other groups. You know, we've got the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. We've got, you know, it's not a nationalistic thing. This is a transnational deep state shadow control group that exists. And they pit different countries against each other in wars, but they always fund both sides of the same war, right? Happened in World War II, happens in every other war, and especially in World War II. We look at, for instance, Allen Dulles. Allen Dulles was the very first CIA director, but this guy was instrumental in keeping relationships with all the deep state interests between Nazi Germany and America, and he was crucial in helping a lot of those Nazis get into this country here. So, again, there's always a deeper control group. They use Nazis, they use their globalists, they use different organizations, different factions to control the frickin' world. It's real shit. Did Antifa organically form? Not at all. Flag design coincidence? The flag design of Antifa is exactly the same as flags that were made in the 1930s in Nazi Germany. Global power struggle. But we, the people, will not let that stand. We are sheep no more. We already talked about that Fox News article. Q then saying here, watch Iran. Something incredible is about to happen. The good people of Iran have the power. Fight for your freedom. Very important point to make here. A lot of people are wary of Q. They're asking, well, why is Q pushing for regime change in Iran? Yada, yada. Well, regime change isn't always necessarily bad. And Q isn't going CIA with this regime change and killing the dictator and installing their own puppet. Q is saying here the people in Iran need to fight for their own power, for their own sovereignty and freedom. So that's how the regime change is going to happen, from the people themselves, not from some rogue intelligence agency. Important distinction right there. And, ooh, brand new Q post as I'm doing this. Nice. We'll go over this in a sec. But 1943, this long post here, FISA in the ABCs versus INSCOM. So this means ABCs, the alphabet agencies, the CIA, FBI, etc., versus INSCOM. INSCOM is the Army Intelligence and Security Command. So Q here is saying that Shadow Civil War, military intelligence versus alphabet agencies. No foreign means no foreign nationals. NSA, INSCOM, bridge. FISA equals FISC, the court. Who is accountable to Congress? Define state secrets. The process of obtaining a FISA warrant. This is crucial here. Who must sign off on it? We'll answer that in a sec. Can select individuals in senior positions of power be shadow banned from active FISA warrants? Interesting question. I would imagine yes. I would imagine that there have been some patriots who have been shadow banned, if you will, out of these types of operations. Sufficient evidence shown to demonstrate rogue elements of intelligence apparatus illegally violated FISA law in coordinated effort with domestic and foreign allies to impact and moderate the outcome of the 2016 presidential election and safeguard against future uncover and criminal prosecution. Long question there, but basically what's that saying is that our own CIA, FBI, DOJ, our own alphabet agencies were utilized to spy on the president. That's basically it. Who must sign off on FISA warrants? Who directs the signers? Given the magnitude of spy campaign versus Trump throughout the whole election process up until he was the actual president, would Hussein, Barack Obama, be required to direct order? How would updates occur? PDB, Presidential Daily Briefing. Who has access to the PDB? What this is saying here is that to create that FISA warrant against Trump, it would have to be Barack Obama to sign off on it. Barack Obama was briefed on the updates of that FISA warrant process during his presidential daily briefing by bad actors in his own cabinet, people who have access to the presidential daily briefing. They would brief him on site at the White House in classified areas, the Situation Room, the Oval Office, the PEOC, which the PEOC is the Presidential Emergency Operations Center. That's what that stands for. It's basically a secure communications room. So they would brief Obama in there. How often does the president use the PEOC? Well, not often, but Q posts this link to an article that basically says Obama moving to a second Oval Office because they were essentially renovating a new underground command center in the White House. Why? For these illegal, immoral, unlawful briefings that they were getting. Could FISA warrants be issued active for numerous, quote, in the news now or future U.S. targets? Foreign tangent required to obtain warrant to spy on the U.S. originated. That's why we were saying earlier that Bruce Orr had to go to the UK and to Australia to get help with that FISA warrant. Defined projection where it did what is known connections, them, the bad actors, the deep state, to Russia, other foreign assets. Who commands INSCOM and NSA? Who has the ultimate command? Well, the president does. And now that the bad presidents are out of office and a new, better, more moral president is in office, well, things can change. And then this last post here looks like a confirmation we are getting. And this photograph is of Xbox Live. So right after Q posted about the Xbox chat logs on May 15th, just later that day, Xbox Live went down pretty much all across the country. So that looks like that's what that post is referring to. So there you go, guys. I'm going to leave that there. This is a long video going through Q's posts the last couple days. I'll probably do another video later today going through the rest of the articles I want to go through. And talk to you guys very soon. Have a beautiful Tuesday. Take care.